My name is Reneé Beltran. I use she, her pronouns. And I've been working with, learning from, and leading with New Mexico Cafe since 2014. Examining my memories of Cafe, I realized that the work began in 2014 as I was, at that time, a member at a church, a local church, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. And they were a member congregation for Cafe. As I think about interacting with Cafe, the next memory that comes to mind is 2016. I found myself heading off to national leadership training with the organization at that time called PICO. It's now Faith in Action. PICO's national leadership training that year, early in 2016, was in Nashville. And I came home to Las Cruces after that training more fired up and engaged and ready to work on behalf of my community than I ever had been before. Previous to that, mostly my life had been that of a stay-at-home mom, a homeschooling teacher, parent, and a volunteer. But this training let me see the power that I held to go out into the community to talk to people and help them work for what they wanted to see in their own community, just like I was learning to do. At that point, I began routinely tabling for Get Out the Vote, 2016 being a big election year. I became a voter registration agent and I began registering people myself. I also participated in a deep canvas with Cafe where we walked neighborhoods knocking on doors and asking folks about their experiences with incarceration, whether it was themselves or a loved one or a coworker. And I had startlingly intimate conversations with strangers that shared magnanimously about their very difficult incarcerated experiences. Also around this time, I benefited from the great leadership training and teaching of Sarah Milton and Sarah Silva, and I stepped up into a leadership position to talk about what my family's experience, lived experience, was and continues to be for those living with mental health conditions. I participated in a town hall style gathering at Peace Lutheran, and I spoke in front of a lot of people, including elected officials, about having a loved one with a mental health condition that was expressing suicidal ideations and was put on a 5 to 6 month waiting list to see a provider for their initial intake. And following that event, I continued to speak up about my experiences as a mom and as an individual who has a mental health condition myself. 2017 came along and I moved into a new role with NM Cafe. I became a board member of the board of trustees for our nonprofit organization. I was moved to do this because the organization was having some leadership changes and there was what felt like a real threat that the organization might not stick around. And I was deeply invested in keeping Cafe because I know how transformational the work of NM Cafe has been for our communities and for myself. And I didn't want Las Cruces and Southern New Mexico to lose that. I stepped up to be on the board and I became the board secretary. This was a role I continued through the fall of 2023. I learned a lot of different skill sets and a lot about how an organization like this needs to be supported from and developed from behind the scenes, as well as had a front row seat to all the wonderful organizing work going on with staff, by the staff, and the community members of Las Cruces. Yet another iteration of my work and relationship with NM Cafe came along in 2019 when I stepped into a professional role coordinating nonprofits across the state, including NM Cafe. As the Civic Engagement Table Coordinator with CCP, I work with organizations across the state every day. I am tremendously served by my history and range of experiences with Cafe, as I can bring empathy and understanding to these nonprofits working in the advocacy and policy world and understand the different pieces of their work because I had the privilege of observing it, sometimes doing it, and learning in my time at Cafe.